Welcome to the TLC Talk, a podcast by Ohio 4-H Teens. Hello, everyone. My name is Wyatt Morrow, and I'm the Communications Committee Chair on the Ohio 4-H Teen Leadership Council. Today, I'm here with...
Kristin Patterson.
And Bill Patterson.
And what county are you guys from?
So we live in Geauga County in the northeast part of the state.
So what is your 4-H experience?
So I actually grew up in Fairfield County 4-H. Go Fairfield County 4-H. Save the best for last, the Fairfield County Fair. It's the last county fair in the state of Ohio. So that's where I grew up in 4-H. So I was in 4-H, I think it was for 11 years. I mean, I went the whole way through, took a variety of different projects. So there's probably nothing I didn't take except market steers.
Yeah, and I was in 4-H for, my whole family's been involved in 4-H, but personally, I was in 4-H for about 8 years. I think we had a gardening club, a woodworking club, and I think there was a third I was in as well. But I, some of the things that I really remember as far as 4-H is, going to 4-H camp. That was always something that was great every single summer. Went to the state fair. I didn't do very well, but I did go to the state fair for a woodworking project.
Tell your story. You have a good 4-H story.
Boy, what story is that?
What is it, the woodworking one?
Where
There's some story with your mom. How you didn't do well in your project.
I didn't do well in the project. I went to state and we loaded this giant mailbox that was probably like, I don't know, it was like 15 feet tall because I got buried in the ground. We loaded it in the back of our Suburban. I have no idea how it worked out. And we went down there and no, I didn't do very well at all. I performed poorly.
Did you get an A?
No. I don't even know what I got, but it was bad.
The failure.
I got nothing.
So you guys run and operate your own farm. Can you just talk a little bit about your farm, what you guys have on your farm? And
Sure. So it's Patterson Fruit Farm. It's 7th generation. So there's been 7 generations of Pattersons to farm in the same area where we are. So first and foremost, a fruit farm. So apples, strawberries, peaches, some plums, fall fest, agri-tainment, hosting weddings. We have a year-round market. And we also raise kids there. So lots of kids. I feel like there's always kids at our farm, which is fantastic.
Yeah, really, one of the exciting things we do in the farm is really just, we have a lot of the public in, and so it's a direct-to-consumer farm market, and so every day we're dealing with the public, and we're able to utilize that as a platform to, whether it's providing them good fruit or bakery, whatever it is, or it's being able to educate them on the growing process, and we've now incorporated animals in the last several years, and that's been really neat to see the kids and be able to talk to the kids and interact with the public about what it takes to grow to grow animals.
absolutely. So you are currently the Ohio Farm Bureau president. And, I've seen recently a lot, with Ohio Farm Bureau, me being a collegiate member myself, I've seen a lot of talk about like family farms and these generational farms, going down in numbers. Where do you guys see like importance of having these generational family farms growing?
Well, going through, Kristen already mentioned that we are just entering the 7th generation of our own farm. And so as you think about the fact that that's 6 generations are already on the farm right now, spanning probably about 130 years, it's very difficult to keep that going. There's a variety of reasons. Number one, the family tree's growing. It's hard to make sure that you have few enough people that enough coming in, but not enough coming in. It's very difficult to go multi-generational. The other issue is you got development pressures and you got people that don't want to be involved in the farm. You have all these different things. 4-H, as I think about my role as the president of the Ohio Farm Bureau, and I think about 4-H, there is no greater start for an individual to learn about agriculture, to want to become involved in agriculture, than 4-H is going to provide you. And so that's why we think about 4-H being so important and FFA being so important, moving into the Collegiate Farm Bureau that you're talking about, and then the young ag professionals, to give them this pipeline to be able to build out the workforce and to people to know that there are so many opportunities in agriculture, and it doesn't mean just owning a farm. To your question, though, it is so important to have a farm and have those young people that have these opportunities come back, and to give opportunities for people to become involved if they don't have a family farm, that they might be able to start their own farm. And that's really the challenge in agriculture today.
Absolutely. So what are you guys' roles look like as 4-H volunteers or advisors today?
So we are both advisors, so we're both volunteers, and then we're parents to 3 4-Hers. So you know how that is. That's pretty crazy, getting everything done. I also get the opportunity to serve on the Ohio 4-H Foundation, which is very exciting. This is actually my second term, so I was on it in college as a young member, and then now as an adult member. So I think it's really exciting for me to be able to kind of have kids in 4-H and see what the foundation is doing. And really the mission and purpose of the foundation is to raise money and awareness of the Ohio 4-H program and give back. So we really want to encourage, especially right now, generational giving and just really tapping into you young people and making sure that you stay connected from your years in 4-H, tying into Collegiate Farm Bureau, Collegiate 4-H, getting jobs in agriculture, and how can we keep you guys invested in the 4-H program, whether it's, commitment through volunteering or monetarily, but just to make sure that this program's around forever. And so that's one of the things we get to do is to raise money and awareness, which is really fun. So, and we get to see programming like today at the conference, which was exceptional.
Absolutely. What is like one thing that you guys really, I know you guys have like a big event that does a lot of fundraising. You want to talk a little bit about that?
So we have the Celebration of Youth, which happens every fall. This year it's at Leeds Farm in September. So it's a way for people who have spent years in 4-H or just businesses or community members that want to give back to the 4-H program can come. It's a fun night on the farm, raise money for 4-H. And one of the exciting things that we get to do is when we raise this money this year, we gave back over $100,000 to the different counties through our grants program. So sometimes when we think of endowments, that money, where does it go? But all that interest is coming back to our counties, and we get to share that throughout and across the state of Ohio.
That is fantastic.
It's very fun.
Now, what do you guys, as foundation board, do you guys get to give back to any of like the state things, like, maybe within TLC or maybe like some national trips or things?
So we do. So we are actually sponsoring. So one of the things we're doing is Spark Camp is this summer. So we are able to reduce the cost of what that would cost for 4-Hers to attend the Spark Camp. So there's lots of programming and sponsorships of trips that the Ohio 4-H Foundation gives back to. So it's really fun for us to see all the different things. And as actually Bill used to be on the foundation board. Bill's mom was on the foundation board. So we're kind of second generation 4-H Foundation members.
That is fantastic. And it's really great, everything that the Ohio 4-H Foundation Board does for us youth and with the sponsorships, like you said, to be able to give us these opportunities and, reduce the cost for a lot of us. That way that we're able to have more of these opportunities. That's very fantastic, and we appreciate you.
Yeah, we realize that you guys are the next generation that's going to be the foundation board. So we really want to invest in you. We think it's very important to invest in the future, and that's why we make our kids do all the things we make them do, plus all the fun things they want to do. But it's a rewarding process to be in the 4-H program, and I'm sure that there are things that we or me make the children do that they don't necessarily want to do, and then at some point it's like, yeah, we're so glad we did that because we've been able to do these opportunities. And it's not always fun to go out and feed your animals, and work on your posters for summer projects. And so it's, as a parent, it's fun to see those things come to fruition when it turns from, oh, we have to do this to we want to do this. So, and I'm sure
Absolutely.
you have no stories like that through your 4-H years.
Oh, I definitely have some of those stories.
I think every kid does. I have those stories. Yeah, I don't like to sew. Don't tell anyone. Don't tell the state fashion board members. I do not like to sew. I'm not good at it.
I can tell by the pins and the pillows in our room.
We have these pin pillows on our bed, and it's because the pillow kind of fell apart. So I had every intention of, using my 4-H stitching to like sew it back together. And I think they've been there for like 3 years now. And I've never sewn them. But now it's become principle that I'm just not going to sew them because I don't like to do it.
It is just so fantastic, everything that you guys as foundation board members and, families giving back to this 4-H program. What has it been like today, seeing your kids, being in 4-H and, some of them being on TLC? What has that been like today, seeing them engage and being on the state board?
Well, I mean, I think it's a big deal to be frank, if that's the word I'm looking for. To be frank, my son Jack was, really not, he was involved in robotics. He was involved in a great club in Geauga County, but he was not involved in a state level. And Kristin, as, having that statewide experience sort of has shown him some of the areas that he can be involved in. and he's really grasped onto it. And so, the excitement of seeing the involvement and having, having three kids that like really want to be here and really learn more and learn about leadership and learn about talking and learn about different programs they can do, learn about their education that they can get, through Spark. We were at a Spark Camp program earlier. So just learning all that stuff is just really, really exciting. This was not something that I experienced, even though I was in 4-H in a younger thing. I was not in 4-H in high school, and so this was not an area that I experienced, and I was not, I just didn't see it like they are. And now I'm looking at all the tools that they have, and I'm looking at the opportunities. I mean, this is incredible what Ohio State just did here, 2 years ago, I think it started, or last year, where 4-H is now an area that you can, that helps you get admission to Ohio State. I mean, that's huge because all these people are doing all these activities, and all that activity is looking great. And now to see 4-H, as Dean Kress always says, this is 4-H is your first class at Ohio State University, and that is so true. And I think with how they're really looking at admissions today, I think that's important. So that's another part that I just think, what a great opportunity for kids to be involved in that way.
Absolutely.
Well, I think that the opportunities are changing, and there's so many more. So we didn't have TLC when I was in 4-H, but I believe it's the old equivalent of the 4-H Ambassador Program, which we did have. But now you have, the Hall of Fame, and you have the podcast, and you have 4-H'er of the Year, and there's just so many different opportunities, different trips, and I just think it's very exciting. So who would not want their child to participate in the largest youth organization? I mean, I think it's fantastic.
Absolutely. Thank you guys so much for all of your intel for the episode today. It was really nice to hear all of your comments through Foundation Board and you being president of Ohio Farm Bureau. And
Well, thanks for having us.
Absolutely. Check out more episodes coming soon on our channel.